Hi, welcome to another little video on this teeny weeny channel. Taking this A320 up to Naples. It's about an hour and 25 up to Naples. Just refueling is in sort of sea, and then we'll get boarding underway completed as well after that. We're using a bit of a GSX mod to Sarajevo Airport because the default one is a little bit rubbish with where it wants you to park the plane, so we've fixed that and we will be getting underway shortly. Hopefully boarding will probably take only about 15 minutes and we can finish off all the bits we need to do to prepare in that time. Half the stuff is already done as well, so we've already completed that before our cockpit preparation checklist. So yeah. So while the passengers board, we're not going to be using ATC for the first part of this flight because I think Sarajevo Tower, well, the default ATC will want us to fly an impossible departure via runway 11, and we won't be doing that. We'll be going via 29 and then using the VAN 1D departure to get us out of this quite narrow valley. So it looks like Dave down there is just loading up the last of a couple of the bags, which will mean we'll be ready to go in but a moment. It should be good. Brilliant. What we'll do now is we will preempt this. Seatbelt sensor on, passenger signs all up to date, fine. What we'll do now is get our APU fired up for the start.
Flight attendants, arm doors, and fasten.
Brilliant.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck, on behalf of myself, the captain, the first officer, and cabin crew, I'd like to take this time to welcome you aboard our flight. We're just wrapping up some paperwork up front here and waiting to receive final numbers from the ground crew, then we'll be on our way. Flight attendants will be coming through the cabin shortly with a very important safety briefing. We do ask that you give them your full, undivided attention as they review the safety operations of this Airbus aircraft. We do appreciate your business having you aboard this flight. If there's anything we do to make your flight any more enjoyable, please don't hesitate to ask. Welcome aboard.
It's nice the cabin crew to speak over the pilot there, but we will get connected and good to go in a moment. You can see the weather's a little bit interesting on the departure. I think on 29 at the minute we're dealing with an 8 knot wind from left and an 8 knot tailwind as well, so it'll probably make takeoff a little bit interesting. Hopefully it looks good. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, we want a runway 29 pushback. So temperature's okay, so we can get the engines fired up. Seems to be a bit of a running issue with Microsoft Flight Simulator losing the audio at times. That's what we're putting up with at the minute. I'm also putting up with a rather noisy PTE, which will hopefully shut up in a moment. It's become very, very sunny outside. That's nice. There we go. Got to love a good old Airbus PTE. Brilliant. We're almost done. Yeah, that's what I didn't want to do, is just disable that. Lovely stuff. What we're going to do is confirm a good engine startup. Cool. That can be confirmed. Brilliant. Set on. We are also going to set on anti-ice for this departure because while it should be okay, we did have a little bit of trouble that was unexpected yesterday coming into this airport. So I'm just going to bear that in mind for departure. So both engines are started up. Green. So what we're going to do is disable the APU or shut it down. If it looks okay. Fine. And while we're now clear left and right, we can just test the control surfaces. So yeah, they're behaving as we would want them to. Fine. Just need to do is see that man wave as a little locking pin. So if that's the wave that is good. And we can get underway. Don't need that much power to get this thing going, which is good. To make cabin ready now. Config normal, fine. Last thing we'll have to do is lights before departure. We're not going to request clearance because we're at the wrong end for default ATC. Also, strobes, landing lights coming on. Yep. That's not meant to be there. Just a quick courtesy check of the wrong way. Fine. Belt lined up, checks fine, config okay. Pre-takeoff checklist complete. 50 or 50% power thereabouts. Let's see this spool up okay, absolutely fine. Engage toga. So 80 knots. Short V1 to rotate. Oh, that fifth positive rate gear up. And try and do get the autopilot engaged straight away. We can bring it back into throttle climb now. It's a bit early. See the departure. Disable landing lights. Let's do this weirdly enough to clear the marker down here. So it's not detected at the minute. We're just going to leave that on until we're up in the clouds. We're already a bit above profile for what we should be, so up to 6,000 for the minute. Flaps up. So yeah, a little bit disappointing that doesn't want to behave. So what we're going to do is just direct to timid for the minute. So 6,000 until timid, up to 10,000 by Keb, and then it's free roam after that, up to 38,000 for our cruising altitude for today's flight. It's a very interesting weather. So we come up to Timmy, we can preset our 10,000 in. You see a lovely scenery around Sarajevo here, which is quite beautiful. It also makes it really, really challenging from a flying perspective. Well, from my perspective, as not a flyer, but also it does make it very pretty. So just accelerating up now to what will be an indicated cruising speed, but obviously that will change with Mac as we go higher. Just convert it over to standard pressure, and once we pop round to Keb, we'll then travel up to 38,000 feet. A little bit bumpy up here, but also there we are. So it looks like according to this we'll get up to our cruising altitude within about 90 nautical miles, which should be good. And then our destination is Naples, is already, you see over there. We will need to plan in our approach though, just considering what the weather's going to do and how late and how much later we're going to get there, and then we'll plan in an appropriate approach. But as we reach to about 10,000, we are now clear what looks like clear of icing conditions, so we can deactivate our anti-ice. So we're happy with that. So interesting with the weather. I wasn't expecting that to play around so much, but we are using the Microsoft Flight Simulator frames, one of the frames tools, freeware thing available on the line. That seems to be actually doing quite good wonders though for keeping the game running quite smooth just throughout the various stages of flight. So that's really, really good. Right, as we now sort of clear that weather, we'll do deactivate seatbelt signs. Let it cruise on up to 38,000 feet. We'll take obviously a few shots up there, but we will then see if we can skip ahead to near our approach. Right, we're back. We're about 20 nautical miles short of top of descent. What we can do is we need to start getting information. So for our destination is 10617. .726. What we can do is start descending down to our approach height, so that'll be about 7,000 feet. And that's what we want to pass Bento at. Let's get the seatbelt signs on, and then we'll start looking at our barometric decision height.
From the flight deck, ladies and gentlemen, as you may have noticed, we have begun our initial descent down to our destination. Now would be a good time to wrap up any business you need to take care of as we prepare for our approach. If you are up, once you return to your seat, we ask that you remain seated till the aircraft arrives safely at the gate. Flight attendants, please prepare the cabin for arrival.
So 518. Fine. So what we can also start doing at this time as well is see if we can get a calculation on landing. So our it's not going to be dry, it's probably going to be more medium. When we slope, we can assume as a 08. Will we use inverse thrust? Not auto land. So approach. Oh. Just there we go. That's what I need to do. My approach speed will be 127. And LTA. Eight, 6, 2, just double check, yeah, 8622. That should allow us to calculate that, so I don't know why that's not working. Okay, there we go. As the Italian coast just come into view down there. That'll be what we're missing. I think this is 223. Brilliant. So we will have enough. I'd say we're probably still safer going over for medium. So we can engage that now. Fine. What we can also do as well is see if we can. We'll leave that alone for the minute. Sometimes default OTC within Microsoft Flight Simulator is not a bad thing, but sometimes it is. And I think if we're going to join it halfway through the flight, it'll probably muck up our plans a little bit, which we don't want that to do. So we can see the looks like we can see this sort of start the opposite side of Italy coming to sight. So this will just come down towards 10,000. Once it'll be stopping down to our lower speeds. We will also be hitting transition only at 9,000. So it'll be a reasonable amount going on before Bento, which will be useful because then we can get it out of the way a little bit earlier in timely fashion prior to our ILS arrival. I'd love to be able to sort of tell you where that is, but I don't know. I only know where Naples is and where we're going, so I'll just have to call it somewhere pretty in Italy. So hit our transition at altitude. Just going to reset that forward. It should be 270. We'll just double check it against 1006 again, so that's fine. So just coming down to 7,000 feet now. We're going to sort of prepare this for the ILS approach. So we've got several sort of drops in altitude prior to us engaging on the glide slope, but we can engage on the localizer pretty much straight away from Bento. So as we hit Bento, our next drop will be down to 5,900 even. We start getting this prepared for our arrival. So just coming over this final load of hills down here, and you can see I believe that's Mount Vesuvius over there, and now lining up for the approach. So distance marker 16 coming up, so we descend to 4,900. Which we're passing over now. Our next drop will be down to 3,007 or 770, but we'll drop it down to 3,800 and then engage the localizer. Which we're coming up to
2,500
now, so we can engage that. What we can also do, we need to make sure this is complete, so we are now established. So by 10 we need to be at 3,800, so we're just going to drop a bit of speed brake to get us out before then. And the lights on. And we're going to engage approach, which will probably try and drop us a bit quicker, which is fine.
2,500
We'll start dropping slaps away. Now we're going to slow it down for our final approach speed by entering flaps 2. Just cautious, we've still got our speed brakes out. It's now nicely established on localised on glide slope. Speed's still a little bit high, so we're just going to hold that up a bit. So engage. Complete our approach checklist as well, which is all complete. Which will confirm it's not how you do a checklist, but it will do. Nice view Mount Vesuvius just off to the left of this on the final. So as we're coming down, we're just going to retract the speed brake, put it into ground armed, and as soon as we come down onto 2000, we'll be dropping gear and going flaps 2 and 4. So you can see the runway ahead. So around 2,000 feet above runway altitude now. Flaps into 3. Final approach flaps. Cabin crew for landing. And we're now configured for landing. So we're going to need front left winds 20 knots, which should hopefully drop off. I'll confirm that's complete. Just a last double check of our METAR. There's nothing to report on that. I think what we can have this with an interesting angle of approach.
400.
So land.
Minimum 300.
And disengage autopilot for the last section. Just going to have to drop away a teeny bit.
200. 100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, 5.
So a little bit off centre line there, we can drag that back into the middle. First thrust, autobake medium, William. 60 knots, 40 knots, disengage. and we can find somewhere appropriate to exit, like here. So disable those. Just going to stop and set those properly. We're going to pull up GSX and use them to sort us out. We are going to request follow me because I've got no idea where we are. We can complete our after landing checklist and await the arrival of Jerome. Here he comes. An annoyingly pink aircraft over there because somebody's textures have clearly had an issue. So we are also using a GSX profile for this airport. So hopefully that will make sure it works nicely here. That will do. So parking brake set. Just going to check she has given the order to end the engines. So thank you for watching, or if you have this flight. Hopefully we can get and do some more shortly.